Alright, so you guys are probably gonna have heard me cussing and swearing trying to figure this shit out. So let me know as soon as you hear me say say yo in the chat if you're watching. Says I got 7 live viewers. This new fucking this new YouTube live thing is just, it's a little tricky to figure out. So hopefully, it says got 4 live viewers. Somebody type yo in the chat so I know that you can hear me and how much of a delay. All right. I know I asked that like 40 seconds earlier. So what's up, Seek R? Clocked it. Gamer talk. All right. So you can hear me. Can you see this glorious screen? It's just so nice. Look at this. Look at this. Folders. You know, it tells you your log time, and you might hear some meowing. It's kind of why I left I don't have the green screen on today. So let me pause this. What's up, Laker Lake? Bill Will. All right, so even the menus. Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I'm struggling a little bit with this Pro controller because of the location of the buttons. It feels kind of weird. Oh, you might have a cat sighting over here. Yeah, there she is. It's weird because you go into this and you can't hit the B button to back out, only to drag. So it's definitely made for the gamepad and the touchscreen or the Wii remote. But you know, it's a little slower than I'm liking because the Switch has spoiled me for how quick it is. But yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about what the legacy of the Wii U is right now, what it could have been, what it should have been, and why it's gonna be lessened, and it's not gonna be it's not gonna have the chance to be like the GameCube and the Dreamcast in the long run, years from now. So this is gonna take a minute. That's the one thing I was saying. Like, this is definitely going back. It's become pretty obvious how slow this booting up games are and going to the options. I was transferring some data from my internal memory to the external and stuff. But let's see here. Where does it show my live viewers? All right, there. Get the chat so I can see that. Wow, this is one of the slowest loading games for sure. So we'll see. I started my second playthrough when they announced that they were bringing this to Switch. And I got pretty far. But yeah, so I want to talk about the legacy of the Wii U. I'm not going to get, while I'm playing, I'm probably not going to get as into it. I also want to talk about why I feel like some people confuse my my focus on video quality from my home theater days. Like, basically it's called a video file. That's the term people use. Audio file, video file for like enthusiasts. Sometimes I think that gets construed as like graphics whoring and reso whoring and stuff. So I want to talk about that a little bit as well. And then I'm going to also talk about why I'm excited for the next generation and what I think is the biggest game changer that I know I've seen some people kind of discredit or scoff at, like it's not a big deal, but I think it's a huge deal. Yeah, so we're at 4-1. That's as far as I got on my second playthrough, but it's been a minute since I played. And this controller does feel weird, having the buttons down and the analog stick up. You don't need the right analog stick on this one, but just the triggers and everything, it just feels so weird. All So, look at that fur. Still looks good. How do you roll? There you go. My probably looks better for you guys because the monitor I'm playing on is like set for Rocket League, for being able to see everything. So I have the brightness set higher. Speaking of being a video file, one of the things that you do when you're worried about image quality from a movie standpoint, or even gaming, is like contrast and black levels, everything being right. So for Rocket League, I have my gaming monitor with the brightness set higher, so this looks washed out to me. But it makes it better for competitive gaming. Can I hold that? Nope. I thought there was a underwater, like she had a propeller or something. I'm not seeing it. Maybe it's that button. So yeah, anyway, I was just, long story short, it looks washed out to me because of the settings I have. This already just feels infinitely better than ukulele, that's for sure. Controls so much better. I've seen somebody say that, was it Donkey? I don't think so. Somebody said that the, oh, it was, I think it was John Linneman of Digital Foundry's, like, top games of 2019. He said that Ukulele and Impossible Lair, the momentum and weight felt better than Tropical Freeze. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I felt like no momentum when I play that game. With this one, just feels smooth. I could have swore she had the propeller where you could just go. You could just hold a button and not have to keep tapping it. Because that's how you get... Oops. That's how you get... you can fight the current on certain levels. Oh, there it is. You gotta hold the jump button. Yeah. It's the jump button, does it? Whoa! I forgot about the heart system, too. What? What hit me? What the hell's hitting me? Oh, I ran out of air. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I haven't played this in a minute. So. I see the chat's getting cut off a little bit. On, over here. So let's. Make it a little smaller. Unfortunately, if you're on your phone, it's probably impossible to see. It was the damn jump button for... I mean, it's just the momentum feels so much better in this game. I can't remember if I have to re-get the... Yeah, my air. If I have to re-get these... I think as long as I don't leave the level. Yep. Gotta get the K though. Alright, let's be a little more conscious of... Oh, damn it. I got funky. I'm a little rusty. What the hell? I do remember there was some hit detection. Like the hitbox was a little weird on this game. And he can swing. I hardly used Funky. Can I kill this guy? Yep. Sorry, I get the goddamn... I try to get every frickin' Banana. You gave your niece the Wii U? Yeah, I mean, I would already bought this if it was a fair price. $40, and then maybe on sale get it for 30. All right, where the hell do I go? I feel like I needed to go down here or something. Oh, there's something here. That's right. I'm figuring it out. I mean, it's a great game. Did I say funky? I meant cranky. Ugh. Damn it. Let's get it. Oh, it already gave me that. Alright, so now I'm figuring shit out. I'll just talk about the Wii U's legacy. So, right now, the Wii U, the only thing it can really still say, that is first HD console by Nintendo. Like that hasn't changed. You know, and it was a failure, a sales failure. You know, that's its legacy, unfortunately. And what I feel it could have been, or should have been, like its legacy should have been, you know, one of Nintendo's best exclusive libraries. The start of Nintendo getting serious with online. Oh, fuck. With the Miiverse. With the Nintendo Network IDs, you know, could have been the starting point for Nintendo's online. Oh, you fucker. This game is definitely punishing. And, you know, having an amazing first-party library of exclusives. Not just first-party, but, you know, mostly first-party. A library of exclusives. Like, if you wanted to play this game, you know, you should have got a Wii U type of mentality that you see with other systems. I'm dead if I try to get that. There we go. I got a second chance on this one. And what happened was, first thing was, and I don't think it had as much of an impact, was a couple of the games started coming to 3DS. We had Woolly World and Mario Maker 1. Which I don't think was that big of a deal, but you know, at the time. And then they announced the Switch. I did the same fucking thing last time. I can't remember if Miiverse was shut down before the Switch came out or not. But then they shut down the Miiverse. And it's like all the photos. I mean, yeah, there was a way to save them. I didn't do it, unfortunately. Oh, that's stupid. I'm going to die again right there, I bet. I don't have to get it again. Shit, that's right. So get rid of Miiverse, and then they come out with the Switch. And then they bring the best-selling game to Switch, which by itself, I don't think too many people, I know not too many people said much. And then, when did Hyrule Warriors come out? Early. What was it? Oh no, it was Pokken Tournament. Not really, that wasn't really a game that, like, defined the Wii U or anything, but it was still another exclusive that was gone. And then the next year, it was just like, it was just basically, fuck you, Wii U library. You bring Tropical Freeze, Captain Toad, Hyrule Warriors, Bayonetta 1 and 2, and then we got New Super Mario Brothers U, this year. It shut down November 2017. All right, so it was after the Switch came out. Thanks, Link. And then the Switch didn't build upon the Wii U's online. There was no Nintendo Network IDs. That was just thrown to the wayside. Miiverse obviously gone. Instead of, maybe they could have, maybe they could have maybe stripped it down a little bit, not made it so every single game like had to have like some special thing to work with the Miiverse. Something. Carry your Nintendo Network IDs over. Maybe, you know, they could have done, I know it's pretty ambitious for Nintendo, something like Microsoft. And you have save files on games. Like, I don't know if they didn't have the virtual console, but like, you know, certain games maybe it could have transferred your progress over, done something to like continue instead of just basically act like the, I wanted to die there. Act like the Wii U didn't exist is basically what happened. So this legacy could have been the start of, like I said, Nintendo getting serious with online. You know, this awesome community with the Miiverse. The Nintendo Network. Now I got, you know, Terminator Juice would have been carried over from the Wii U. And it's like, oh, that's my, you know, that's my Nintendo name. That's carrying over, you know. It's, nope, it's, fuck. I didn't want Cranky. And the one bad thing about this, having this brightness up for me, is that the foreground and background are kind of, they don't stand out because I don't have it set correctly. But anyway, so instead of like, yeah, like I said, continuing what the Wii U started, that would have gone towards like people saying, yeah, you know, this profile started on my Wii U, you know, started on the Wii U, and I'm still using it on the Switch too. Oh, fuck, air. God damn it. Son of a bitch! This game is hard to play and talk at the same time. I might have to call it quits. Cause I'm trying to like have a good thought. That's a little bit that location on that spike's a little cheap, I think. Alright, I don't want fucking Cranky. I don't want Diddy. Alright. So how can I replenish my air in this area? Alright, here. I feel like there's a puzzle piece to be had. There's definitely something down here. Go. Dixie's just OP. I mean, I don't know why you'd use anybody else. Yeah, once I finish this level, I'm gonna have to like not play a level and finish what I'm trying to say. I knew there was a puzzle piece in that. Donkey looks pretty small. I don't know if it's just this area. Feels like he's pretty small on screen. Damn it, I'm determined to get all the bananas here, but I was. No, I'm not. Oh, fuck. Let's go. I need a checkpoint. Fuck you. Alright, I might have to quit. That's a lot to go through. God damn it. Fuck you, Retro Studios. Fuck you. Put the timing so you'll drop down and you're gonna die no matter what. Luckily I have 99 lives. Well, I had. Alright, I'm not gonna. See how easy that was? I'm used to playing slow and methodical, but trying not to, just to get through this. This game's too hard. 6 out of 10. Levels are just boring. Alright, let's go. Yeah, that branding there online, like with Miiverse, exactly. It's like starting over and then having the Switches online just be a no name. Well, they gave it a name, but you know, you don't have a profile. You don't have let's do something real quick. I'll post this. Let's see how long this takes. I haven't done this in a while. I did this for like 100 times for Xenoblade Chronicles X. I don't think it's going to have my password. Nope. May have changed it since then. Nope. Alright, so select screenshot. Boom. Send. Yeah, and when I talk about why the Wii U, its legacy's diminished for me, I rated it my favorite Nintendo console of all time. When I did that, it was 2016. And my basis was how much I love the Miiverse. The library of games. The games it had were like the best in the franchise, in my opinion, for me, which I'll go into once I beat this level. Like, it just, you know, it was more than just, it had nothing to do with this plastic box sitting here and the shape, size of it, the name. Like, it was the games, the exclusive game library, the Miiverse, and then the gamepad for off-TV play and for the games that actually utilized the gamepad. Those are my three pillars of why, you know, it was my favorite Nintendo console. The Wii was cool, you know, like I enjoyed when the motion controls were used right, like for the Metroid Prime trilogy, for Wii Sports, you know. But I felt like their big games like Mario Kart and Smash were all like lesser. Does it save it automatic? Yeah, we're all lesser versions of those series. So, you know, like GameCube was just notorious for me for just being a letdown from Nintendo first party, and you know, N64 has some of the best games of all time, but overall, you know, I didn't, you know, take away 2 games, and the system itself and the rest of the games were, you know, didn't really put it up at the top for me. And then like the Super NES was number 2, but now I have to really rethink that because they just stopped Miiverse, like gone. So it's like it didn't even exist. Yeah, I still have my memories of it, but it's gone. It doesn't work anymore. I don't know why it still has an icon. So that part of it is absolutely gone. I loved getting a new game, checking out the community, seeing people's screenshots, hearing people talk about it. Mario Maker, it was awesome for that. I'm just curious what it says. Like, it even tries to boot up. Like, you had an update. Why wouldn't you just... Why wouldn't you just fucking remove it? The icon. That's just stupid. You had music on the eShop, and then you had the gamepad. So the fact that the Miiverse is gone, and the library for the Wii U's exclusives has been diminished. Look at that, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild DLC, baby. I can't use the controller to highlight to actually select anything. I should buy fucking Breath of the Wild on the Wii U, baby. Is this just a DLC? Nope, $60. It's cheaper on Switch. Nintendo Selects. Let's look at these Selects and their prices. Lego City, Nintendo Land, Luigi's Mansion, Dark Moon. Oh, these are 3DS. Can I narrow it down to just Wii U? Nope. 3D World, $20. Pikmin 3, $20. Galaxy 2, that's a download. Huh, they don't have Tropical Freeze on here. They probably took it off because they're charging $60 for it on Switch. I have no doubt in my mind. Best sellers. This is kind of fun, yeah? Mario 64. I don't even remember some of these Virtual Console games. Twilight Princess, still 50. Alright, let's just search for Tropical Freeze. Look how easy it is to type that. How quickly I typed that. They probably took Tropical Freeze right off. Yeah, they took it right off the eShop. You sons of bitches, man. This is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. They don't even sell the game on the eShop on Wii U anymore. If that doesn't prove anything that the ports have diminished, and you might be saying, well, you're just a Wii U weirdo. You just love the Wii U. These games have a second life on Switch. It's been 6 years since fucking Retro Studios finished Tropical Freeze. It released a few months after they finished it. We should have the third game by now. Like, that's what should be on Switch. And if they bring the old game, then it shouldn't be fucking $60. So anyway, I have to really think. But there are still some great games. You see, I got Xenoblade. That's my favorite of the Xenoblade series. I have to look to see if Bayonetta 2's on there. This is my favorite Kirby game. This is one of my favorite Star Fox games. It's right there with the original. I really enjoyed it. I have like 40 hours in it. This was a pretty cool Platinum exclusive. Then you got Fatal Frame, still exclusive. Pikmin 3, still exclusive. And 3D World, the best game on the Wii U, still exclusive. So you still have some great games. Mario Kart 8. The Wii U version is now irrelevant. Like Clocked It said about remakes and shit, diminishing the original. An enhanced port with more content and shit made this absolutely irrelevant. Smash Brothers for Wii U still goes down as the first HD Smash Brothers game. It was great, but basically took this game and built upon it for Smash Ultimate. So Smash Ultimate includes everything in this game pretty much, but that's more of a sequel. But Odyssey doesn't diminish 3D World. Tropical Freeze being on the Switch and now you can't even buy it on the eShop diminishes it. New Super Mario Bros. U now being on the Switch diminishes it. Captain Toad now on the Switch. So let me just run through some stuff here. And for somebody that said I don't play indie games, I forget who that was on one of the podcasts. It's somebody I hadn't seen before. So we got Axiom Verge. We got 3 Shantae games on my main page. All indies. All indies here. Except for a couple of these are free to play. You know, so I did support indies a lot on the Wii U. These 2 great games. I actually I seen Retro was playing Trine 4. I definitely want to play that. I'm not gonna get it on the Switch, but do want it. Shovel Knight. I have all the content, all the updates and stuff. Even though I just bought it day one for $20. I get all the content. So you can't get out with the B button. So that's weird. Then I had some Wii games I purchased. I don't say Captain Toad has a ton of exclusive worlds on Wii U. I say it has a few. We got the Virtual Console. You know, which I think all of these now are on the Switch online. But I don't know. I'd rather play them like this than have to have Nintendo Switch Online to play them. It's just stupid. And then it's your Wii. So, yeah, I know it looks gorgeous, but it's, I don't know, when I can play it for 60 frames per second and it's $10 cheaper on another console. It doesn't have entire 3D World, dude. Quit exaggerating. It has a few 3D World levels. And they added something. They added new levels to kind of balance it out. But I agree. They shouldn't have taken them away. So yeah, for me, yeah, let's go back to the eShop. Let's look at a few other. Let's see if all the ports are available. Let's see if New Super Mario Bros. U, Bayonetta 2. Let's see if those are still available. You know, Splatoon 1 still on there, but Splatoon 2 includes everything from Splatoon 1. So that's, you know, that's a sequel kind of diminished the original. All right, so what was I forgot already. So when you got the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, you know, still exclusive Nintendo Land. If New Super Mario Bros. U ain't on here, I don't want fucking trailers. I want games. Like, what the fuck? That's weird. That's a weird result. So, and somebody said, yeah, this shop is way better than the Switch's eShop. Why is this so much better? Let's see, New Super Mario Bros. It'd be funny. Okay, so this $60. Are you fucking kidding me? This was a $20 game. This comes with Super Luigi U, but it's still on there. See if Bayonetta's still on here. Okay, I mean, it's so easy to type. Nope, Bayonetta is no longer available for sale on the eShop. Hyrule Warriors, the 3DS game's available. You can't buy fucking Hyrule Warriors on Wii U. This shit I didn't even know. Was Captain Toad in that list? I think that was in the, okay. No, it's the 3DS version. So they've removed... Oh, wait, there we go. There's the Wii U for $30. Okay. That one's there. What else is there? What's another port? Well, I missed Tropical Freeze, Bayonetta, Hyrule Warriors. Oops, accidentally got out. But anyway. So, just kind of recapping. The Wii U could have been remembered. First HD console. The start of Nintendo network IDs. The start of Nintendo's online service. You know, the beginning with Miiverse, having these communities for each game. And having a bunch of great exclusives, you know, like if you missed out on that system, you know, years later people are going to be talking about how great it was. But when you took most of the great games, well, Mario Maker is in Mario Maker 2, so, you know, it's fine. A sequel is fine. A few sequels here. The ones that are like Smash Brothers, Mario Maker, the sequels kind of made the original, the Wii U versions kind of irrelevant. Mario Kart 8 is a port, not a sequel. Did the same thing. Tropical Freeze, New Super Mario Bros. U, Captain Toad. You know, it's like those no longer are going to be thought of as Wii U games. Years from now, they're going to be people are going to be talking about them as Switch games. You know, so it's just like maybe it doesn't matter to most people, and I'm just a fan of the Wii U, and maybe that's why, you know, it matters to me. But I just think that this thing has no legacy now, other than it was a failure. And you know, yeah, we had some games in HD for the first time, but you know, it's just kind of a bummer, how it will be remembered. So next, I want to get into what I was talking about, where I think a lot of my I don't know the exact word, but the fact that I focus on picture quality, and I always have, ever since I don't remember if it was probably after Jurassic Park came out. I've always been a stickler for good video quality. I've always paid attention to what technologies there are, what video cables give you better picture, that type of stuff. And I think a lot of people think when I talk, some of the things I talk about, they take it as graphics whoring and resolution whoring and stuff that doesn't matter. And I'm like, I mean, to me, it's not even a thought. If I shared this yesterday with the guys, in 1999, I drove 45 miles to the mall in Grand Rapids, Michigan, because I was trying to find the S video cable for the Sega Dreamcast. And I went to the EB Games in the Woodland Mall. I think they changed the name of it now. Wow, that's a slow camera speed. Holy shit. And to get the S video cable, because I had a 32-inch JVC TV that had a S video input. And that gave you a way cleaner picture. I mean, it's not even close. Like the standard composite video just looked all pixelated and shit, and then the S video gave you like a way cleaner picture. So I drove that far to buy a $30 cable to get a cleaner picture for my Sega Dreamcast. You know, the fact that, man, the camera speed's at full too. I mean, I did that back in 1999. That had nothing to do with graphics horror. I didn't care. I mean, I thought the games looked great, but I have a TV that has an input that gives you better picture quality. Like, why wouldn't you why would you use composite video? Why would you hook your Dreamcast up or your GameCube up with composite video if you had a HD TV that had component video? You know, I mean, yeah, you had to buy the fucking cable. It was a little tricky to find one, and they were a little bit pricey. But if you had a TV with component video cable, in my mind, and you're using composite video, then you could say it doesn't matter, but you're playing the game. It's not like it changes the game, but why wouldn't you want to have the best image you could possibly have for, see if I can remember how to turn into a car. I can. Yeah, this is my Ares 90 scale, by the way. Look at this. Look at this game. Glorious. Look at this. Zoom the camera out. Beautiful. Look at this world. Best gaming world ever created. I don't remember. Is this the warp point? It's been a while. Is that the fast travel point? Yeah, I got like 212 hours. But anyway, so you got a system, you're playing the game. The developers, when they make the game, they're seeing it on probably really high quality monitors and stuff, and they're not sitting there using composite video. So it's like, why wouldn't you want to have the best possible picture you could? Like, for all you need is a cable, you know? So I've always had that mentality. Why do I keep hitting Y? I want to fucking hit B. That doesn't work either. There we go. Let's see if I can kill this guy. Yep. So it's like when I got a DVD player, same thing. I made sure I had component video cable. Yeah, he's dead. You know, because if you're gonna go from VHS to DVD, why wouldn't you have the best possible picture you could get? Because otherwise, what's the point of having going to DVD? You might as well stay the VHS if you're gonna run composite video type. That's just always the mentality I've had. When HDMI came out, that was, you know, you switch, got an HDMI 1080p TV. I'm gonna hook everything with HDMI. I'm not gonna hook up a DVD player or Blu-ray player with a fucking component video. Like, it just makes no sense to me. And the same thing, I kind of feel the same thing just about gaming in general. The Switch and Wii U, you only have HDMI, so you don't have a choice. But if the Wii U or Switch had composite video outs, would you use them? No. You know, so that's, and if you just were going to play on some little TV and just rig some shitty setup for a short period of time or something, maybe. But you know, it just, I think that like I said, that gets confused a lot of times for like caring about resolution and graphics and stuff like that. I just, with everything equal, why not get the best picture you can and have the best setup you can? Like, if you got a TV with, like I said, with HDMI, you're gonna hook up the HDMI. Switch if it's not automatic, make sure your game's output is 1080p. Why would you wouldn't run it at 480p? I know Black Bond made this argument a while ago, but he had a ulterior motive to it. But it's just like, yeah, you're not gonna set your TV to 480p. You're gonna set it to 1080. If you have a 1080p TV, if you have a 4K TV, you're gonna switch it to 4K. Or if you have a 1440p computer monitor like I have, you're not gonna tell your desktop to display a 720p. You know, like, it's just, that's, to me, that's all it is for me when I talk about this stuff. When I talk about HDR, if a game has HDR and I have an HDR TV, I'm gonna enable the HDR, especially the Capcom games like Resident Evil 2 and Devil May Cry that really use it well. It's like, why wouldn't I use it? Like, why wouldn't I talk about it? It doesn't, you know, it just, to me, it's just common sense that if you have the capabilities, you have a game that does it, you turn it on. Like, unless it had a negative effect. I know some of the early HDR, and I still can't beat this guy. I don't know what I need to do. I don't want to try it. I ain't gonna risk it. There's a few early like 4K Blu-rays where the HDR was messed up, but you know, to me, that's all it is. Like, what you have, whether it's the Switch, whether it's the PS4 Pro, Xbox One X, Xbox Series X, PS5, you buy the console, whatever you got, whether it's a PC or whatever, and you have whatever TV you have or monitor you're playing on, you match the resolution. And if it has, like, my monitor on PC is 144 hertz, so if I could play Rocket League at a I can't quite hit 144 constantly, but, you know, 135, 140 frames per second. All that does is just, every little extra frame helps with input latency, helps with your reaction time, and you know, so I enable it. I'm not going to play at 60 frames per second just because. Yeah, he's dead. He's toast. So I'll probably just repeat myself at this point, but now look, all the work that went into this game world. I mean, yeah, you can talk about the pop-in of the actual enemies and like the little bases, the little human bases pop in, but the rest of the world, doesn't pop in like that. They made an effort to have like this not pop in at the last second, or that big tree in the background that doesn't pop in the last second. That waterfall, that's what they focused on. So who cares if a few minor details pop in? But they did all this work. They made this game look this good on Wii U. Is there anything wrong with wanting to make sure you have the best possible picture or image quality to play Xenoblade Chronicles X on your Wii U? I'm not talking about playing on the Dolphin emulator and I gotta play it at 1080p with anti-aliasing and all that shit. I'm just saying, for what I have, I always like to have the best possible settings. Use the best cable. Now it's just HDMI, so there's no real debate on that. But back in the old days, it was composite video. You had S video. You had component video. A lot of people just stuck with the composite video. They said they didn't care, but I've always cared about that. So, that's just the way I've always been. I love tech. I love TVs. Like I told the guys, I could go through every TV I've ever owned, what brand it was, how much it cost, and what inputs it had. Like that stuff's always, I wouldn't say mattered, maybe not the right word, but I've always really focused on that. So anybody that's playing X and you want to level up, these are the best things to do to use that, or best way to do it is to fight these guys, because they're not that hard, and they give you lots of XP. So what I usually do is I add a fourth that's like low rank, low level, and I just come up here and I just destroy these guys, and then I fast travel back right over at the waterfall, and I just kill them again. Sometimes they put up a little bit of a fight. Other times it's like over before it starts. But I did all this and the work I did to get this area scale, it was a lot of work. And there's more guys up here that are pretty good. But look at this, man. Like, you're not gonna play this on a 480p fucking CRT that's not even a widescreen. Like, you're not gonna do that. This should come to life. This combat is so different. It's so different from 2. Well, yeah, because of the scales it is. Alright, we're gonna try something. Let's see if I can, if I swim. Alright. Alright, here we go. I forgot my combo, though. I might die. I used to have a really good combo, but I forgot what it was. So if you haven't beat Xenoblade, you might not want to look too closely at that light blue-haired character. But game's been out since 2015, so you know how I feel. Technically, it's your fault if you get spoiled by something from 4 years ago. You should have beat it by now. If you cared that much, you would have beat it. Yeah, not the best texture work up here, but yeah, you want to die? Go in here. I'm not going to, but there's a lot of enemies in here. A lot of small enemies, but there's just so many of them. Alright, so let's see here. Forget how to check the world map. Alright. It's this guy. I think he's pretty high level. He's probably like 100. I don't know if I've ever beat him. Should be something in the distance here. I do not see it. If this was on Switch, it'd have better draw distance. Oh, there's something. Yeah, this is like, that's like the highest point in the game is up here. Listen to that music too. Fuck, where'd it go? I lost it. Damn, it was there and I turned around and it was gone. There it is. Nope. Keep seeing like hints of it. There. Probably can't pick it up on the stream. There's a little object there. Technically you could swim to it from the beginning of the game, but I should go to Alright, where can you fast travel? There we go. Probably the best music in the game, I think, is in this area. I know I'm not focused right now, but get distracted by greatness here. Let me turn this up. I have the music really quiet on my end, so yeah, this is it. Look at this world, man. Look at that. Awesome. I know I can beat that guy. But, you know, to me, this level of visuals is absolutely fine. Like, yeah, if they ported it to Switch, I would, hope it run at native 1080 or maybe reduce the pop-in or something. I expect it to look better if you put it to Switch. But this is perfectly fine. Like I can play this game all day. Start over right now and play it. Graphics and visuals don't bother me whatsoever. Like, yeah, it doesn't hold up to games I've been playing on the PS4 lately, but it still looks great. The art direction's amazing. The techniques they use to pull off, the baked-in lighting, just like those aren't like simulated clouds or anything. It looks like an old days of movies where they'd have paintings in the background. But it works. Everything they needed to do to every trick they needed to make this game look as good as it does. They did it.
Just leave us alone. Going all out. Send them flying. I figured we'd win. Hope I didn't get in the way.
Eat that, bitch. Let's see. So anyway, just I can't remember how the saves and shit work. I'll back out and I'm going to talk about why I'm excited about the next gen. Specifically, one aspect that's got me the most excited. And just, I don't know, kind of build off a little bit what Mr. T was saying about people being worried about 2020 for Nintendo. Actually, I know his lightning's still here. I was looking at the old Art Academy. I thought I had more drawings on there. I guess I didn't. A couple of them, I was just kind of messing around. A couple were pretty good, and then there was a Bayonetta one I only got 20% finished. I'm kind of wish I would have stuck with it because I mean, what I had was pretty good, as you'll see. And they were gonna like put out more stuff, and they never did. It still has coming soon on a couple of the features. Maybe it did come out. I don't know. Go to the old portfolio. So this was just something I drew completely from my imagination, which I usually don't do. I don't love it. But I did this Smash logo. I was practicing blending, so this was one I did while I was practicing blending and shading. I went through a lot of art. I did art class like every year, junior high, middle school to high school, and then this is one I was doing the sample photo, where you can flip back and forth. So this one's unfinished. This is just like getting the base colors down, the base shapes, and then I never did the finishing touch. And then here's my Bayonetta that I wish I would have finished. It's a little hard to get like really precision lines with this. Oh, the game bomb, I forgot to turn it down. Thanks. I wanted you to hear that Xenoblade music. So, this was just a cool feature of the gamepad. Obviously we had Mario Maker. So let's go to the studio. So you could pick sample images, and then try to draw it. I don't know what this was. Is this your background? All right, so touch the handle. So okay, on the monitor it gives me the image. So then it's basically like if you were drawing somebody, and then you could put the grid up to kind of help locate, and then you could just lightning. One thing I'd tell you, if you really want to get serious about drawing, is the number one thing you need to do. This is from all my years of art classes, is you have to train your eye and your hand to kind of work together, so that what you're seeing, you're able to draw it, like for your outlines and stuff. So you should be able to follow with your eye around like the ear and stuff, and then obviously these squares help, and your hand should be able to follow what your eye's following. Like that's one of the hardest things, unless you just want to make stuff. If you want to draw stuff from your imagination, that's not as important. But if you want to like draw like from sources, that's like a big key. Get your sketch, your initial shapes right. Not that this is going to be great or anything. I usually take way more time. But then you can use just a kind of rough outline where everything's at as like a starting point. That one. Just kind of figure out where stuff's kind of going to be before you start adding the details. So I don't know if I can put this on screen. Yeah, you can just see how that, I was just going by eye using the squares, but you see how it still lines up pretty well. That's what I was talking about. It took a lot of years to like. One of the exercises you do is you don't look down at your paper or whatever. Oh, I got the eye way off. You don't look down at the paper at all, and you have to like whether you have to put your hand in a bag or something in the paper in a bag, and you try to draw without looking, and it helps train. So that's just if you wanted to do like I said, like recreate, look at something and draw it. But if you're just trying to, I had the nose in the wrong spot too. So anyway, just a little something. How do I get out? I don't. Probably this guy. Yep. That's awesome. I should have saved it. I didn't. I still could, but fuck it. I ain't gonna play. I ain't coming back. So yeah, I know I haven't been really. It's hard to like focus. Actually, I'm gonna see. Turn on the full screen webcam. Chat's not on screen though. Let me. Where's the Gotta remember how to bring this up. Game capture, display capture, browser. That's it. We'll make it bigger. And then I'll just, is there eShop music? I'll just leave that on. Actually, the disc is pretty loud, so I'll turn it off. All right, so final thing here. You guys might think this is funny, but look what I got. I got an Xbox Series X. Boom. Microsoft let me demo it. This was my my surprise. No, seriously, this is I've seen a lot of people talk about how big it was and how dumb, like it's just too big. So I wanted to mock it up. They got the actual dimensions. It's actually not that big. Like, it's probably this height is probably as long as the Wii U. Let's see. It's about inch and a quarter, inch and a half longer than the Wii U. Obviously, it's thicker, but they have confirmed you can turn it sideways, so it'll fit in any entertainment stand. Anyway, I see some people. I mean, I don't blame anyone for saying that there's not anything really at this point exciting about how the next gen consoles, the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, have been revealed. And I was on that train until the Game Awards, and Microsoft actually showed the system and showed a teaser for a game. Like, to me, that's as what else can you do to show off a box? Like, you show the box. The incredible design of the GameCube. I didn't just praise it, did I? Did I just praise it? I just said it's not that big. It's just a long rectangle, or it's a square that's tall. The GameCube's biggest problem, in my opinion, is just how the front panel, I had the black GameCube, and then you just have this big gray, like textured gray with the 4 ports and the memory card inserts. Like, that should have been like a dark gray or black, to me. That's the ugliest thing about the GameCube, is just that. And we can go to, let's see. Go here. See, I'm one of those guys. I've always liked blacked out vehicles, motorcycles, cars, trucks. That kind of stuff's always been appealing to me. God damn it. I hate this fucking... I just want to click on the image. I don't want... So I like the shape of it, but I don't like, if you can see where my mouse is, it looks like two smiley faces next to each other. And it's less noticeable on the platinum one. But you got this purple. This gray just doesn't fit. It just stands out. It looks lazy to me. It's symmetrical, which I do appreciate. I kind of wish there should have been a circle there just to kind of match it, but it's just practical. It's functional. It's not stylistic. It has no flair. Look how ugly that is. That's fucking ugly. Just get rid of the orange and it massively improves the GameCube to me. Like if this was black, that would look so much better. Because then you lose the smiley faces, and it goes with the black here, and it's just a weird design choice. Now it's not hideous; it's just not super appealing. Look how much better this looks, like that. But still, you can't. Once you see the smiley faces, you can't unsee it. And why is there? I'm not only with art, all the art for drawing and stuff, but also for design. Why is that curved right there? There's nothing about that makes sense to me from a design standpoint. But again, it's not ugly. It's just not like super attractive. And the Xbox Series is just completely, it's just simple. It's just, can I just make this a big, take this and put a big gray square right there, and this thing all of a sudden becomes ugly. This is just a simple, sleek design. It's not like mind-blowing. It's not like, oh my God, that's like a piece of art. It isn't. It's just, this is what the GameCube could have been with just a few subtractions. This is just simple and clean. It looks nice. It's the Wii U actually is simple and clean. It's just the glossy plastic led to scratches and stuff, but this is just a simple design, and the GameCube to me is just had that, for whatever reason, that weird choice for that gray, and it just looks ugly. That PS4 Pro, not the best design, especially when you're looking at photos. This is a pretty good, when it's sitting in your entertainment stand and you're just seeing this and you're seeing the light across here, it's actually way nicer than I expected. I thought it looked stupid. When you see it sideways with the stand, looks terrible because of that, the shape of the stand and how it lifts it up there. But just sitting there, this is the photo the guy used when he was selling it. When you don't see the back, when you're just looking and you see the front of this, like I said, this light lights up from here to here. It looks really nice. It's just a clean looking design. It's not, I think the original PS4 looked better. This one right here, but I don't really care either. Like the Switch isn't the best looking system. The Switch and the dock is pretty fucking ugly. The Switch sitting in the dock and your entertainment stand is like this. Like, that's not the best angle, but it's not that attractive. But I don't care. I'm just playing games on it. So but it's dark and it doesn't stand out. Now, if this had a big gray square with 4 black circles that look like smiley faces, I would fucking hate it. So it's all a matter of opinion. But anyway, so the next gen consoles, they first just announced basically the type of tech that was going to be in. They're going to use AMD's Ryzen 2 CPU and their new GPUs, the Navi brand, and people, and they're talking, we're going to use solid state drives. We're going to keep a disk drive. They're just basically getting out the least exciting stuff first, which I actually appreciated, because before you'd get the system and then you'd see it and you'd see some games, and then all of a sudden there's all this tech talk coming afterwards. It's like, who cares? So get the who cares stuff out first, which they did months ago. And I know I understand why people are saying it wasn't exciting to reveal console that way. But you get the boring stuff out of the way. Next thing you do, here's the name, here's what it looks like, and here's a game, a teaser for what we're hoping to achieve. To me, that elevated the Xbox One or the Xbox Series X into my mind share. Like, now it's something I'm looking forward to seeing more on. I'm interested. You've intrigued me. Like, show me something in a month or two. Give me more information. Do what the Nintendo did, and they did the reveal trailer in October, random Tuesday in October. They showed you what the system looked like. They showed you could take it on the go, detach the controllers. You could play it on the TV. They showed Mario Kart 8, Splatoon, NBA, Breath of the Wild, and then a new Mario game. Everyone was excited because, hey, that's a new Mario game. Everything else, we weren't sure. We'd seen Breath of the Wild at E3, but hey, this is cool. Find out more in January. Piqued our interest. Everyone's excited to find out more. Then we got the January event. Oh, these Joy-Cons actually have all this tech in it. I got the HD rumble. It's got motion. I'm excited for motions back. Like all this stuff. The actual guys coming out and talk about games, to me, that was the down part of the reveal. And then the ended with the Breath of the Wild, best trailer ever, video game trailer, movie trailer, whatever, best trailer of all time. And it left a good taste in your mouth. And then what they do, they had the events where people could go play it like the next day. All the websites, game journalists got their hands on. They got to talk about it, and then it released a few months later. Like, I think Microsoft's kind of following that formula. Like, all right, here's the reveal. Here's what it looks like. And then in interviews, the most exciting thing, and I think it was Mr. T was trying to he was downplaying it for him personally. He thought hearing that it's going to have a solid state drive is like big deal. I've had that in PC for a long time. To me, like, solid state drive is still the single biggest technological advancement to push PC gaming forward ever. Probably since 3D graphics cards, since Doom or Quake or whoever was the first one to do like 3D graphics cards. Solid state drives is such an improvement over old hard drives, and Phil Spencer said it's 40 times the read and write speed of versus the old Xbox One and PS4 hard drives. So 40 times faster. That means booting the system up. That means loading games. That means installing games, downloading and installing, all that shit is going to happen 40 times quicker. Now, yeah, a lot of the games are going to be incrementally bigger. You're going to have 100 gig games, and yes, there's still going to be some loading time, but you're going to put in a PS4 game into your PS5, and they already showed how quickly a Spider-Man loads up. You're talking about these systems could boot up as fast as the Switch, and I know a lot of people talk about how much they love how quickly you just turn the Switch on, boom, the menu's up in seconds, even if the thing's turned off completely, and then your games, suspended games right there, it's instantly up. You're talking about that for basically what's going to be not quite as powerful. It'll be, pretty powerful like a PC. It's basically, you're going to have like a PC and you're hooked up to your TV that can boot up instantly. And then they're saying multiple suspended games at once. So right now, I'm playing a game which I will not name because it's going to make my top 5, and I want it to be a surprise. But I kind of want to dabble back into Devil May Cry 5, but I'm like, I have to it takes a few minutes to boot that game up from scratch, get back to where I was. If I could have multiple games suspended, like, and just jump back and forth, obviously you'd have to have them installed, the digital version, for that to truly work, because switching discs is still going to be a thing, but and depending on how everything works, if you have to install the whole disc, or I'm sure you will, because the disc read and write speed's so much slower than a solid state. Like, you're talking about games that are going to look like, like Spider-Man on PS4. It's an amazing looking game. I don't think it's a great game, but Last of Us Part 2, talking about games like that are going to load in probably under 10 seconds, possibly, like without having it be suspended. And if it is suspended, it'll probably be instant, like not even a second. That's a fucking game changer. If you don't think that's a game changer, then I wouldn't even know what to say to you. Like, we're back to cartridges at that point. We're faster than cartridges, probably. That's the old days of plugging in a cartridge, hitting the power button, and the screen in the game start menu's up, like before you can sit down. And not basically Nintendo times, because the problem with the Switch is if you don't have the game suspended, the loading times are fucking as long as, and sometimes longer than PS4 and Xbox slow ass hard drives. It makes no sense that the flash memory internally on the Switch is even close. There shouldn't even be a comparison between, let's say, a game that's probably pretty equal. I know Hellblade file size wise is a little bit bigger on Switch because of the pre-rendered cutscenes. But basically, it's the same file size game going off flash memory or the SD card. It should be at least 10 times quicker than PS4 or Xbox One, but it isn't, because the Switch was designed with limitations when it comes to memory bandwidth. So the transferring the speed, it's not capable of it. It's definitely faster if it was fully built from the ground up game. Maybe, but still, data's data. There ain't much you can do. You can optimize and arrange your data in a way that makes it quicker. But if you take the same data for anything, whether it's just, let's say you have a bunch of pictures on an old hard drive, and you want to transfer them to a solid state drive, loading up or transferring between, let's say, an HDD hard drive from one to the other, and from a solid state to another solid state, the same exact info, it should be not even a contest. Solid state drive instant. It should be way faster. USB 3 versus USB 2. You take the exact same file, USB 3 is going to crush it. There's no reason that games on the Switch should have 30-second, minute-long load times. Like, there's just no reason. And Breath of the Wild, well, one of the other factors is the CPU being so underclocked. And I don't know if we talked about this much on the podcast, but Nintendo allows, in a patch, Breath of the Wild and I think Mario Odyssey are the two games for sure that use it. When you're loading, it clocks the CPU up to the full, like, 2 gigahertz or whatever, and it normally runs at 1. So it doubles the clock speed, which helps with the memory bandwidth issue. And it cuts the loading times in Breath of the Wild down by like 30-40%. But it has to quickly to declock or slow down the CPU, so it don't overheat, and they don't run the game like that. But just loading up the game, and I mean, there was areas where I think it was even a 50% increase or decrease in the loading times for Breath of the Wild from fast traveling from one area to the next with this patch. So, it took them having to overclock the CPU to accomplish that. But anyway, and maybe like I said, some of these big games, like, we'll just throw out an obvious, like God of War 2, whatever. They're going to probably have so much, like, more. It's going to be a huge file size. I think the original is like 50 gigs. Maybe it's a 100 gig game and it has higher quality textures and all that, and maybe it will equal out. But even still, I just feel like this new, solid states aren't new, but having solid states in a console to me is just like the single most exciting thing technically about them. Obviously, the games got to be there; they got to be good. But I'm just looking forward to seeing, like, that become, well, going back to like the old cartridge days, like I said, where it's just like you put in the disc and you hit the A or X button or whatever, and then like seconds later you're playing the game even if it wasn't suspended. Like, that would be exciting, because Resident Evil 7 on the PS4, it's like a minute 45, I think, to load up. If you put the disc in and you to get to your game, to get to your save file and actually start playing, it's almost 2 minutes. And you divide 2 minutes by 40. I don't know, what is that, 120 divided by 40? It'd be 30 seconds. Like, I'd actually, I'd probably start Resident Evil 7 again. The one thing that's stopping me is just, it's so ridiculous how long it takes to load that game. I know that sounds stupid, but it's when I'm thinking, oh, what game do I want to play? It's like, man, I haven't played Resident Evil 7 in a while. Maybe I should give it a second chance. But I was like, I don't really want to sit there through 2 minutes of loading. But so that to me is the exciting part. And the other thing is just the fact that having systems that are just fully backwards compatible. I know Microsoft, like I talked about, you just sign in to your Xbox Live and all your save files, all your games that you have digital, you re-download them, your progress for all your games, I could put in fucking, I don't have any Xbox One discs right now, but if I, like Forza Horizon 4, put that in, boot that up, and it has all my progress. Like I was saying about the Wii U Legacy, like if all your virtual console stuff, if that had carried on, your Nintendo Network ID, and any games that crossed over, they would have to be obviously virtual console and digital type games, because there was, you switch media from discs to cartridges, so I can understand why it's not backwards compatible. But imagine if like all your virtual console stuff was there, all your progress was there. They don't have an achievement system, and I don't really care about that, but if they did and it carried over, like, that's the kind of stuff that I hate to give Microsoft credit, because they're probably my least favorite company when it comes to gaming and stuff, but they did that right. And I'm looking forward to having basically I won't need to upgrade my PC now. Like, I can get the new consoles, whatever they are. There's a rumor that PS4 is going to be $400, but it's going to be less powerful. Xbox Series X probably going to be $500 to $600. But I'm looking at $450 for just a graphics card right now. It's like, I just save that. I'm looking forward to, hopefully Rocket League will be there. And I know people are going to laugh at this, but if Rocket League's there and it has 120 frames per second support, that could mean the end of me playing it on PC. Like, if I can play it on my 65-inch OLED at 120 frames per second and have that responsiveness I'm used to and be competitive, I'd have to run a wired controller, because unless there's some improvement there with input latency, and I can make that like my primary gaming platform, and I don't even have to go back and forth between my living room and my PC for gaming. Like, to me, that's an exciting prospect. So we'll have, there's a lot of information you have to come out. Well, lots to remain to be seen, pricing, all that. But I don't know. I'm more excited, I think, than anybody else that I talked to about the new consoles. So let me guys know what you think. This one's going on a little bit longer than, how I like to ramble. So appreciate everybody for tuning in on a Saturday. Hopefully you had a Merry Christmas and New Year's Eve. I'm probably going to try to finish up a couple games for 2019, so we can do I think we got to do the Game of the Year 2019 podcast before the decade discussion, because there could possibly be a game from this year that makes mine or somebody else's top 10 list of the games of the decade, and it'd be kind of a spoiler if, let's say, Terrell has Fire Emblem Three Houses on his game of the decade. It would give away what his game of the year is, basically. So we'll have to do that. But 120 frames per second. Like, I laughed at that when my buddy told me he was playing Rocket League a few years ago when it came out on Switch. He's like, yeah, I'm playing at 144 frames and at 1440p, and he kind of laughed. I'm like, dude, 60 is all you need. Like, your eye can barely tell the difference. And he's like, He's like, that's not true. So I looked it up and I'm like, oh, your eyes can see above 60. And it's not so much about the game noticing how fast it's moving. It's just how responsive it is. And then I figured out the in-game has an option to put the max frame rate. You could put up to 240. I'm like, why would you do that? Well, if the game engine and your graphics card can render the game at that high, that means that your control input doesn't have to wait for, it can be instant, because let's say you're playing at 60 frames per second, all right? I forget how many milliseconds that is per second. So in between 1 millisecond and the next millisecond, you press the input, and it might actually carry over to the third millisecond. But when you're or it's not by millisecond, but I think it's like 13 milliseconds per frame or something like that. It might be 33, I forget. So there's a gap of whether it's 13, 16, 33, whatever the number is between each frame. That little bit of a millisecond, like I said, makes all the difference when you're playing competitive. So you have more frames. That means that there's less milliseconds in between each frame. So your button press actually gets registered like that much quicker. I mean, we're talking milliseconds, but when you're playing competitive, every millisecond counts. That's why you will never see a professional Smash Brothers player playing with a wireless controller. You're just never going to see it. Obviously they're using the GameCube controller. They're going to be playing wired anyway, but part of the reason is because it is wired, and wired is the first step, and then your display has input latency possibly, and it's just, if you can cut all that down and to be able to have that same smooth instant reaction to a game that I play competitively. I got 1,000 hours in Rocket League. I play ranked I play casual mode every once in a while with Meza T. I take it pretty serious. So if I can get that experience on my TV, which I specifically bought because it has support for 4K up to 120 frames per second, I specifically bought it to future-proof myself for the next-gen consoles, which I was hoping, which has now been confirmed, that they take advantage of it. So getting back to what I was saying earlier about being a videophile, if I have a 120 hertz TV and you have a system that can display it, I'm going to activate it and I'm going to play it that way. Like, I'm not going to put it at 60 hertz when I can get 120 hertz, So, and I think the Xbox One, you can do 1080 120 hertz, but there's no games that do above 60, so it's kind of pointless. So, it may turn out to not be the case, and developers could push 4K, and it could be 30 frames for most games. It could be the same old story that we're used to, and 60 is not even the standard, so let alone 120. But whatever. I'm excited to hear more, and I'm just glad I got my Series X. I already picked it up. It's really light, though. I mean, it's super light. It doesn't have any inputs, so I don't know how I'm going to plug it in. But anyway, that's going to do it for this podcast. And I guess I didn't even type it as a juice opinion. So anyway, thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.